Hello everyone, my name's Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to record a video pretty much like a get ready with me with the added on of basically combining it with a labor story type thing. Without further ado, let's jump right on into it. So first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to prime my face. I've been working on this Infallible matte lock. I've only used it for like 3 days, so I don't know. I haven't had enough time to actually see if it's done a whole lot, and plus the foundation that I've been using to try to kind of use it up is a dewier one, so I feel like it kind of combats it just a little bit. I'm gonna use this is basically just me. I mixed the Flower foundation with the NYX control drops. If you saw on my project pan, I had actually, not my project pan, my haul video, I had bought the NYX control drops because the Flower Beauty foundation was a little basically what ended up happening is my son's due date was May 19th and the week before May the 7th I had been having contractions on and off, but I had worked 3 shifts in a row, so I was a night shift labor and delivery nurse at that point in time. And I had worked 312s, which is a normal shift for a nurse in the hospital. And so I had worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday me and my husband went to the last, where did I put my thing? My last childbirthing class. That's the word I was looking for. So we'd went and I had been contracting, but not anything super duper crazy. It was pretty much more like consistent period cramps. So I decided, because at that point in time I was trying to go natural, I had decided that we were gonna go home. I was gonna get in the shower, kind of relax a little bit, or as much as you can when you're uncomfortable. And I decided I was gonna go ahead and go to bed because there is such a thing as false labor. So I wanted to make sure that that wasn't the case. And the best way that you can do that is just kind of give it some time and rest and hydrate yourself. So I went to bed and then I woke up at 2:30 because I had to pee like any normal pregnant lady does when you've got a 6 to 8 pound baby normally pushing on your bladder. So I had gotten up and it was like perfect timing because at that point in time I felt a gush of fluid come down my leg. So it turned out my water broke, and of course as soon as my water broke, it ended up my contractions got so much worse. And so finally we get into the car and we head towards the hospital that I worked at because that's where I delivered, and get there. And at that point in time I'm like can barely sit in the car seat. I'm having to breathe through every single contraction. I'm having a hard time kind of staying on top of anything. And we get in there and I get to triage, and of course at that point in time they kind of like check your cervix, do all that fun stuff. By the way, this is Be Bright concealer by Koki. It was in, I think, my Ipsy bag, one of the Ipsy bags that I had gotten. So we get there and I of course lay down so my cervix can be checked. So my cervix gets checked and I'm 4 centimeters, which might not seem like a bad thing, but I had since 36 weeks been like 3 to 4 centimeters. So it was really frustrating as someone who was going natural, and for how uncomfortable I was for me to only be that. But my water was broke, so they decided they were gonna go ahead and keep me. So my nurse came up, which of course all of these nurses that took care of me are like some of my dearest friends. So she comes up and wheels me back, and I'm like barely able to sit in the wheelchair while she's wheeling me back. And so I'm just gonna pat out my under eye to make sure that there's no creasing. And I'm using the Fit Me Maybelline, which of course that's like one of those things where it's like a YouTube made me buy it type thing. So it works out really, really well. So I get to the back and I decide at that point in time that I am going to try nitrous, which is basically the laughing gas that you get in your dentist. We did all of that and it was fantastic until it wasn't. So anywho, so I got to the point where all of a sudden I was using the nitrous. I remember it was like, I had looked at my mom and I was like, Mom, this is some good stuff. And I went back straight to the freaking mask. And then like, not even probably 5 minutes after I had sat there and said that, I remember like jerking up, and I sat there and I looked at my nurse and I was like, I have to push. And she had just checked me like 15 minutes before that. So I sat there and I told her, I was like, you don't understand, I have to push. And after she checked me before I started the nitrous, I was like 5 to 6 or like 6 to 7. And so she decided to check me again. And she told me I was only 7 to 8 at that point in time. And that like crushed my spirits, because in the back of my mind as a labor and delivery nurse, I knew that even though my body wanted me to push, if I pushed at that point in time and I still had cervix, there is a big possibility my cervix was going to swell. So basically, I ended up at that point in time, I decided it was best for me to get an epidural. Not only because obviously my cervix, but I was also in really intense, like I can't do anything to change this right now and I need help. So our anesthesiologist came in, and of course I absolutely loved him. So he was nice enough to let me stay side lying. I couldn't feel anything. I didn't like, if I had a hard time really believing I had legs at that point in time. So we had sat there and she let me get kind of comfortable for a little bit. We waited almost an hour because she checked me right after the epidural, and what ended up happening is I went from 7 to 8 to about 9 centimeters, 9.5 after the epidural. And so we decided to go ahead and wait another hour and then recheck my cervix and see if I needed to push at that point in time. So we ended up getting to the point where it was time to push, and I pushed for about an hour. And after an hour, at 7:04 on May 7th, we introduced my son, Asher Lee, into the world. And I can't even remember what I think he was like 19.5 inches, and he was 7 pounds, 4 ounces, which I thought was like perfect because he was born at 7:04 on May 7th. So real quickly, I just wanted to tell you, obviously I've been talking and putting stuff on my face, so I'll tell you what I've been putting on my face. So this is my Z palette that I've made, teeny tiny, but this is the Hoola bronzer that I've been working on panning, and then this is my flower blush. I can't even remember which one it is, but of course that's going to take forever to pan. And then most of these are Too Faced from the Big Natural. I know they have a new like Natural Lust one that came out, but this one came from like the Big Natural palette that I basically depotted all of them. So these 3 are from that, I'm pretty sure, and then this one is I think a little one from like an Ipsy bag or something like that. So I did that, and then I went ahead and again I had the fly liner, but that decided to dry out for this video, so I just used the NYX Epic ink liner, which still need practice with it, but and then I did the Great Lash Maybelline, and then I went over it with the Nars Climax one. So next I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows real quickly. I understand why YouTubers do their eyebrows off camera, because it takes for freaking ever, but I am going to use the Precisely my brow from, I can't talk worth a darn, from Benefit. So I will be right back with you. All right, I'm back. So there's my eyebrows, obviously, and then I did go ahead and just line my waterline with the vintage smoky eye pencil. And then I went ahead and I lined my lips with my little liner, which I can't find now because obviously I can't find it. But it's the one that I've been using for my project pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put on my lipstick. This is just Doll Face by Too Faced. Sorry, I keep like looking at myself. I'm still learning. Thank you for your patience. So I don't mind this color, but it accentuates all the lines in my lips, I feel like. So I wonder if you can kind of see. So, and then it just like, it doesn't layer on very well. Like if I want to put more on, it's just super duper creamy. So it like pulls it off. And then like Sophia, like the butthole gets worse. It's not good. So I'm gonna do that. And then the very last thing that I need to do, actually I've got two things I've got to do. So I'm gonna do some highlight. So this is just my Colourpop with Flexitarian. So we're gonna pop that on there just a little bit. So I know I'm like super duper glittery. My husband just got home, so we'll be finishing this up real quick. But that is basically the main reason why I wanted to make this video. So my biggest thing is I want to be able to connect with you guys, and I want to be able to teach you something that you don't know that's going to make you feel more confident. So with that being said, that is it for today's video. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. That kind of helped me understand what videos you guys are liking compared to others. Also, if you guys want to see more of my videos, go ahead and click subscribe, and you can go to my channel and that'll bring that up. If you guys have any questions or concerns, something that you want me to talk to you more about specifically like labor and delivery, I would love to hear your guys's thoughts. Finn, stop. And so with that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.